In this week's Torah portion, Beha'alotcha, it makes a statement that is very well known, but on the face of it could seem a little puzzling. The statement is, the man Moses was very humble, more so than any other person on the face of the earth. And the reason this can seem like a little bit of a puzzling statement is it says he's humble, but then also says, as a result, he was the most humble, the greatest person ever, and more humble than everyone else, which seems like a little bit of a contradiction. But it's not when you realize that in Judaism, and I think in life in general, humility doesn't necessarily mean what we think it means. For so many people, humility seems to mean, particularly in this very egotistical age of social media influencing and self-promotion, people seem to think that humility means putting yourself down, debasing yourself, making yourself small, feeling insignificant. And Judaism tells us that's not what it is at all. And we can see this by the very fact that Moses, who is the greatest leader of the Jewish people, is certainly not insignificant and is certainly not small, is indeed great, but is also incredibly humble, which means humility must mean something else. And in fact, there's a couple of commentaries from Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, a Hasidic rabbi, one of the Hasidic masters, who comments on this. And the first comment speaks to this specific point, saying that one might think that being humble is what happens when you are submissive towards others, when you debase yourself and make yourself smaller before others. But, he notes, that's actually not humility. That, in many cases, is simply flattery and servitude. It's not about genuinely being humble. It's about putting yourself down so that you don't get hurt or that you get your way. In fact, he makes an even greater statement and notes that sometimes this kind of performative false humility is actually pride. And that there's a modern term for that, the humble brag, which is the term meaning when you pridefully state how amazing you are by saying how humble you are, and how much you value others and humility. But really what you're doing is you are declaring yourself to be great via your humility. But I think there's an even more important commentary that he gives. And that commentary is that he says that, yes, Moses was incredibly humble. But while he recognized his own limitations, his own relative insignificance in the world, he also recognized the greatness and importance of the Jewish people. And I think what he means by this is that humility is what happens in contrast to ego. Ego is about thinking that you and you yourself are the most important thing, more important than others, and that what you want and what you need is more important than everyone else. And you fill all the space that there is with you. Humility is what happens when you say, I am part of something bigger. I can't do everything on my own. I understand my limitations. I understand where I fit in things. I understand that I can be amazing, but I can't be everything. I understand that I have a greater purpose because I am part of a larger society and because I am able to serve others and not just expect them to serve me. Understanding that larger community, understanding that pull to peoplehood and society and causes greater than ourselves, that is when we can be truly humble. When we can be great in doing what is good for the larger cause and for the larger society, and understanding how we can humbly and greatly be part of that.